What's up guys, it's me Jeremy, and I found a way to get first blood on Janna Ashe at level 1 against an AD in support with a very high success rate. About 90% on the purple side and about 80% on the blue side. Janna Ashe has the highest level 1 damage of any AD support bot lane combo in the entire game. And with this guide I can help you maximize that damage, and give you a huge chance of first blooding an unsuspecting enemy. Now, before I go into details on how to do it, just know that there are a few situations where this doesn't work. The first is that it doesn't really work against a Blitzcrank support, unless you have phenomenal positioning, because he will just pull you into the tower. And the next is that it won't work if you go on a champion who got their mobility skill at level 1. However, since most players get their mobility skill at levels 2 to 4, this is usually not an issue. Also, you might have trouble on an opponent who got Flash Ghost, but that also doesn't really happen. Now, performing it is actually harder than you might think. It took a lot of min-maxing for me to figure this out, without having to be screwed for the rest of the laning phase. The first thing is that Janna should get Flash Exhaust, while the Ashe gets Flash Ignite for summoner spells. These summoner spells are very important to be exactly like this, since Ignite is used to counter an enemy's heal, while the Exhaust is used as an absolutely necessary second CC tool. And since you want Ashe to get the kill, you should put the Ignite on her. For Masteries and Runes on Ashe, you should just get standard AD. For Masteries I recommend 2109 or 2190, whichever you like better. And for Runes you want to have some sort of flat AD. Now here's where it gets interesting. For runes on Janna, you want to go standard, except have a full 9 flat AD red runes. This is a huge factor in making this strategy successful. It increases Janna's level 1 damage by a ton, and actually makes her lane phase a lot stronger in general. So what you replace them with is not miss that much, even if you fail, because it makes Janna's weak lane phase much stronger. For Masteries, you can just go standard, but I recommend 1:15:14. For increased movement speed, the Gold Mastery, and the Exhaust Mastery. For starting items, Ashe should start with Doran's Blade, but if you want to start Boots in 3 pots after practicing this, and you feel that you have enough AD from Runes and Masteries, that is viable as well, you just need a couple more auto attacks. It also doesn't matter what Janna starts with, as long as you start with at least one ward. Ashe must start with Volley, and Janna must start with Tornado. When you do this, you want to start in the Tri-Brush for the purple side, or the River Brush for the blue side. Wait until the enemy champions have pushed a bit and then gank them from behind, or gank them when they face check. Alternatively, you can gank them earlier if one of the two champions is not there. You don't want to wait in the in-lane bushes because you risk the chance of an enemy support just warding the bush and then it will fail. This whole tactic relies on the fact that your opponents are not expecting it. Use your wards if they try to juke you in any of the brushes. Ashe should ignite somewhat early, to reduce any heals. Janna should also exhaust somewhat early as well. You want to exhaust before you use your Tornado, since it has less range and will allow Ashe to hit her volley as well. The best time to exhaust is right about before they flash, so you don't have to flash after them to catch up with them. Then, just unload on the enemy. Janna Ashe's insane early game damage with the runes and masteries listed earlier will catch your enemy off guard and make them panic. This will lead to a surprisingly easy kill, requiring around only 4 or so auto attacks after your skills to kill them. This should be pretty easy between your exhaust, solid positioning, and the knockup from Tornado. Usually you want to wait for them to flash to use your flash, or to use your Tornado. If you miss your Tornado or volley, that really hurts the chance of this working. Usually, if you wait for them to flash, or wait until they are running away, it should be easier to hit your abilities. Other things that can mess this up is if you are not patient enough and don't wait for the opponent to be out of position. You might lose a couple of CS, but first blood will totally be worth it. Another factor that can make this mess up is if you get juked in the brush. You need to use your wards effectively to prevent juking. Between Janna's passive and the movement speed masteries, you can actually probably start with multiple wards if you want, just to be sure that you aren't juked. Lastly, it is very important to make sure that the two of you focus the same champion, or you probably won't do enough damage. If they try to fight you straight up, it should be an easy 1 or 2 kills as long as you hit your skills. But almost always your opponents will run, so just kill the person you can kill the easiest. This will have to be judged by you and your partner, depending on the opposing champions. However, it is more likely for the enemy AD to be out of position because of wanting to farm, so you might just have to go on them and hope they didn't get their gap closer at level 1. Be patient and use your skills to the maximum potential. If performed correctly, it should be easy to develop the strategy into a very high success rate, probably around 80% or higher. I hope I've explained this in the best way possible. This is of course a tactic best used in duo queue, and probably only possible in duo queue where you can communicate with your partner. But it is still very good and can turn a weak laning phase into a strong snowball for your team. The strategy may work with other ADs or other supports, but it will definitely work best with Ashe Janna. So that's it for my First Blood Janna Ashe guide. I'd love to discuss the strategy with you guys in the comments. I'll see you next time.